let's just say it's a dimension because we don't know what it is, but it appears to be another realm that people can access either through psychedelics or through a religious protocol. Specifically, psilocybin has helped people I know recover from things like, say they were on the front and, in various tours of duty, and they've been helped by treatment. So I guess my position is, and I don't guess this is my position, is that when done with the correct intention, I think it's good. Even within in religious studies, we have a whole group of people who do look into, entheogens, which are psychedelics and religions and religiosity type of things that come out of that. So indigenous people from the United States, like, America, there's the Church of Native Americans, the Native American Church. They use peyote, right? Mm-hmm. And so they utilize plant medicine in order to, in a very structured religious way. And they have experiences like this. So most likely there's a link there. There perhaps what Ezekiel sees is something that maybe, I'm very happy to say that, in this environment, like a controlled kind of respectful way of doing, psychedelics, this is legitimate what they're doing. If one's doing it recreationally, I've seen some pretty terrible things to happen with people who aren't respecting that you can open something up. Mm-hmm. You can open up, let's just say it's a dimension because we don't know what it is, but it appears to be another realm that people can access either through psychedelics or through a religious protocol. It seems like it happens.
Have you done psychedelics?
Yes, when I was younger, I did. Yes, and again, I felt like it was something that was okay for me to do because, well, I'll tell you, I did it innocently. So I was a 16-year-old, and my friend had some. Her parents were Grateful Dead people, so they, I know. So they had
the good stuff, huh?
Well, they had mushrooms, and my friend got some. And I already knew at this point, I don't know how, but I already knew that it needed to be done in reverence. It needed to be done. So we actually prayed to God before we did it. And we said, if this is wrong, God, please let us know, but we're going to do this. And it was a really beautiful experience that was, honestly, it was good. But I don't do it now. And
why not?
Well, because I think that I was lucky and innocent when I did it, Shawn. I know that it's helpful for people. I've known people to be, specifically psilocybin has helped people I know recover from things like, say they were on the front and, in various tours of duty, and they've been helped by treatment. So I guess my position is, and I don't guess this is my position, is that when done with the correct intention, I think it's good and all right. Without that intention, it's dangerous. And for this reason, that it perhaps will open something up. And it could be that you do meet something like another being of some sort, that we've been talking about. And that being could be good or it could be bad. Both exist, in my opinion.
So do you think these realms, I've done psychedelic works and psychedelic therapies and it stemmed from mental ill injuries from service, but where I don't want to get into all the good whatever. That's a whole nother conversation. What I'm interested in talking to you about is the realm that you go to.
Yeah, the realm is really real.
The realm is Do you believe it's a real realm, or is it developed in your imagination,
Right. So,
or is it both?
yeah, okay, so I believe it's a real realm. And I don't think the reason I believe that is because if you do what's called field research and talk to people either who access this realm without psychedelics and then those who access it with psychedelics, a lot of times they're talking about similar types of things that happen in those realms, like certain experiences, certain things that they meet, like entities and things like that. And so that would indicate to me that that is a real realm. How we access it, I don't know. I do know though that I know we're not talking UAP right now, but when I met people who were in the government who were studying UAP, who are studying UAP, they're very interested in this realm. They're interested in this as like consciousness is an access point.
What do you mean by that?
So our consciousness can access, and things can access us through, I would call, through something that we have in our consciousness. I think that we're at the very beginning of understanding it, and I think we should be really careful.
Why do you think we should be careful?
Okay.
Do you have specific examples?
Well, yes. Okay. So this gets really scary though, because it could be that there are, like, I've met people who have been doing ayahuasca, right? And they do it fairly consistently, I guess, right? And they've told me that they've been what they call, and I'm not putting words in their mouth, they've been possessed. Okay. And what they described to me is something that I've heard within the Christian tradition of being possessed, or even in, like, it happens in most religious traditions, by the way. It doesn't just happen in the Christian tradition. Possession by something that is bad and is harmful. And so it could be that something like that could happen if one's not prepared to deal with the realm. There is a reason in the Jewish tradition that people, and by the way, you also get this in the Greek tradition. So when I say, I'm looking at this from a meta perspective, not just from each tradition. So I feel blessed actually to be able to have studied this from multiple different religious traditions and secular traditions and philosophical traditions. And so when a person goes through life preparing themselves to access these, what we'll just call in this conversation, these other dimensions, right? This realm. They've been prepared. Like, they've been prepared. They have a group of people to help them. Like in the Merkaba tradition, you don't do it until you're in your 40s. You have to actually have gone through maturation. You have to prepare your brain. In the Greek tradition, the Socratic tradition, you prepared your brain by doing math. You were an athlete. A lot of them were, they were kind of like MMA fighters, right? They were wrestlers and stuff. So they trained their bodies. So, most people are not like that. Most people are not, they're just going through life and they're doing their job, and then they want to do this thing, they want to go down and do ayahuasca, and maybe 5 times it works well for them, but on their 6th time, it's the worst thing that has ever happened to them in their life. And it has PTSD repercussions for them. That's what I'm saying. That type of thing. I know people that have had that happen to them. So that's why I'm on the conservative side of that.
Yeah. When you're talking about other people that are reaching the same dimension or realm or whatever we want to call it, that are getting there without psychedelics.
Yes.
How are they? Is this through meditation? How is this
Okay,
happening?
so in almost every major religious tradition, you have a tradition of this, and they're usually called monastic communities of monks and nuns, or like they're called in Hinduism sannyasins, renunciates. And even you have this in, like I talked about Socrates and Plato in the Greek philosophical tradition. You have a group of people who go off live together and help each other. In Buddhism, it's called the Sangha, right? It's a community of people helping each other become ready to access realms that provide knowledge, wisdom, truth, things like that. And these realms, what's called a moral realist. That's a philosophical position that believes that things like truth and justice, these are real things. Mm-hmm. And if humans died, they would still exist. Truth and justice would still exist. I believe that. And that only comes from living my life for as long as I've lived and going through the training that I've gone through. There are lots of people that aren't moral realists. Most people are not, I would say. But once a person has a taste that this realm exists and that truth and beauty exists and that you feel it and it's something amazing, right? Like, I feel like Jimi Hendrix knew about this, through his experiences with psychedelics. Are you experienced? He was experienced. And he says, not just stoned, but beautiful. Well, I understood that, and I understood that not from he was dead, by the way, when I was exposed to his work. But yeah, so once a person recognizes that stuff is worthwhile, then one wants to go through those training, get through that protocol, do those, go through those communities.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.